be the standing arrows.
Left hook. He started the night with a left hook.
In April 2000, Lennox Lewis was still haunted by the ghost of the former heavyweight champion, Mike Tyson. Despite his numerous impressive victories, doubts about his status lingered in the eyes of some. And then, a new threat emerged on the horizon: Michael Grant, a massive boxer weighing around 200 kilograms, capable of easily overpowering his opponent. This bout promised to be a clash of titans, a test for Lewis that could either reaffirm his claim to the throne or relegate him to the shadows of past champions. Today, we will talk about the brutal battle between Lennox Lewis and Michael Grant. A battle that left the boxing world breathless. Because that evening, we witnessed not just another knockout, but one of the most impressive and ruthless knockouts in Lennox Lewis's career.
God bless.
Five months before Grant's challenge, Lewis had rectified one of the great wrongs in boxing history when he beat Holyfield in their rematch in November 1999. Lewis put to rest any doubts about who was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world for the first time in 7 years since Riddick Bowe defeated Holyfield in November 1992.
The first unified heavyweight champion from Britain in a century. What do you think this will do for your legacy as a fighter, for the respect you have tried to win over the last decade?
I think, I went through some trials and tribulations, and, enough people were trying to stop me. The Americans didn't want me to take it over the Atlantic to Britain, but I actually persevered and succeeded.
Ironically, Bowe soon lost that distinction when he refused to fight Lewis for the WBC title. Bowe wanted no part of Lewis. This all set the stage for Michael Grant, trained by Don Turner, Holyfield's trainer, for his 2 victories over Tyson and his fights against Lewis.
Second right. Here comes Grant. He's starting to feel it. And there goes Buddy Hatcher. He's down.
Grant was considered the prototype heavyweight of the future. He was large, athletic, with a genial personality and not a lot of wear and tear on his body, like most fighters attained through years of sparring and gym wars.
He is the American hope.
Lewis, for some reason, was not as embraced by fight fans and crossover media as he should have been. He was approachable, cerebral, though lacked the kind of exciting spark Tyson, Bowe, or Holyfield provided. Lewis was too smart to engage in the life and death attrition fans clamored for, and consequently was labeled boring. He was also dangerous. Bowe avoided him. Tyson avoided him. Grant and Turner thought that they saw a weakness in Lewis. They thought they could exploit Lewis' suspect chin. They also had size on their side. Grant was 27 at the time, a lithe 6'7", with an 86-inch reach and weighed 250 pounds.
How's he gonna deal with Michael Grant's giant physicality?
Grant came into the fight with a 31-0, with 22 knockouts. Grant had turned pro 6 years earlier with only 12 amateur bouts to his credit. In many respects, he was still a project. But boxing insiders marveled at his strength, coordination, and stamina. Some observers called him the best pure athlete ever to come into boxing. Lewis was 34 at the time. He is 6'5", weighed 247, with an 84-inch reach.
Later on, particularly for a guy who's 6 feet 5 inches tall. Right hand by Lewis.
Lewis was also 35-1, with 27 knockouts and 1 draw. And an Olympic gold medalist with an 85-9 amateur record. Grant's advantage, such as it was, lay in his stamina. In the past, he'd worn opponents down. And some of Lewis' past performances had raised doubts regarding Lennox's stamina. The early rounds were expected to belong to the champion and the late rounds to the challenger. The outcome would hinge on what happened early and, if that wasn't dispositive, on how early it got late. The objective in the Lewis camp was that there not be any late rounds. Emanuel Steward's plan was for Lennox to jump on Michael. For the first time in his pro career, Grant would be the underdog in one of his fights. Lewis had been installed as a 5-2 betting favorite. The prevailing view was that Lennox's boxing skills gave him an edge. Also, Grant might be stronger, but Lewis was believed to be the harder puncher. Grant had struggled in his previous fight, being knocked down twice in the opening round of his fight with Andrew Galota. Yet he had shown heart in recovering, eventually making Galota quit late on. But the warning signs had been there. Did Grant have a suspect chin?
Good luck to the both of you.
Just big boulders being thrown by both.
For what it doesn't seem to interest the public.
Grant surprised Lewis by taking the fight right to him when his big chance came, even getting home with a shot or two.
Everybody's hit by pounding a right hand through it.
Punch it, but he needs his guy exchanging the right hands. He shouldn't be.
Left hand to the body. More effective body puncher than Lewis.
But Lewis soon put his challenger firmly in his place, decking him with a right hand that landed high on the head.
Lubrication there. You need Vaseline.
Lewis lands an uppercut and Grant goes down.
Seeing history between two such big men. This is the first knockdown. The right hand.
Grant never recovered and he was downed again, his legs all over the place, only the ropes keeping him up.
To work to survive the last minute of round one. Lewis lands a right hand on the top of the head. Grant trying to fire back. Ropes out.
It's disoriented Grant and had him weaving, holding on.
In the round.
Then, with just seconds remaining in the round, Lewis landed a sledgehammer of a right bang on Grant's chin, sending him down for a third time.
Lewis is still got to be
Rest of the round, that right hand appeared.
His legs splayed apart. Grant looked all done.
Grant will get up from that. Oh, here it comes. So Lennox.
HBO commentator George Foreman thought Grant had suffered a broken leg. But Grant had heart if nothing else, and he somehow hauled himself erect in time to make it through the hopeless round.
And the fortitude he showed in surviving the first round against Galata. But Grant still doesn't have his legs, and Lewis is just teeing off.
Well, he's got his legs here for a moment.
know what you're throwing out.
Lewis beginning to pop the jab.
For them not to cover up and start grabbing him.
Lewis ended matters with a right uppercut to the chin that sent Grant down for keeps, although here too, Grant was trying to get back up.
And for the moment, Lewis looks punched out in division, and we finally got him here.
Well, this is one of those games where 4 minutes of action can be better than an hour of inaction.
The shot Lewis landed was actually assisted by an illegal move, that of Lewis holding Grant with his left arm as he launched the killer right. Grant was in no shape to complain.
That hurts.
Lennox Lewis is a puncher.
This was one of the most impressive and ruthless knockouts in Lewis's career.
This time I don't think so.
The plan to attack Lennox Lewis just backfired.
Lampley deemed the Lewis victory over Grant as the most explosive showing of his career. The difference between experience and inexperience. The difference between an undisputed Hall of Fame heavyweight world champion and someone who never touched that platform of boxing again.
I just come to conquer. That's all. Just come to conquer. Any guy that steps in front of me get knocked out straight away. You know what I mean?
And here comes Lennox Lewis.
2 years later, Lewis did. He would solidify his place in heavyweight championship lore by vanquishing the dodging Ghost, Tyson. Grant never fought for the heavyweight title again. Interestingly, with regards to Foreman's "he broke his leg" comment, Grant did suffer a broken ankle in his very next fight.
Of the two operations, if ever.
Having taken a number of months off after the Lewis hammering, Grant came back to face another huge guy in Jameel McCline. Grant was beaten in just 43 seconds.
Body is bone dry, not one drop of sweat.
Having been caught and put down by a fast McCline left hand, Grant injured the ankle upon falling.
I'm feeling my feet, my ankle.
But Grant is wobbling, and he's...
After that, he did what he could to rebuild his career. He worked hard in the gym. He took 7 fights for small money, winning all of them. Every step was aimed at getting back on HBO. When he did, it was against Dominic Gwynn in a crossroads bout for both men. Gwynn won. Grant then reeled off 8 more victories in succession before losing a 12-round decision to Tomasz Adamek. He finished his career with a 48-7 with 36 knockouts ring record. Meanwhile, Lewis' knockout of Grant solidified his own standing as the preeminent heavyweight in the world. By the time his ring career ended with a victory over Vitaly Klitschko 3 years later, people in the know understood that Lennox would have been competitive against the best of all time.